Today at the LA Auto Show, I was finally able to take a look in person at the updated Nissan Rogue. Let's take a look at the changes inside and outside, and then talk about what, of course, has not changed. Obviously, the first change is this redesigned front end. Let me know what you think. I've actually always kind of liked this generation of Rogue, but they've certainly made it sharper and more modern with this design. We no longer have a big U-shape of chrome that is all one piece. Now we have these various little sections that blend a little bit better with the front grille. We still have full LED headlights on each side, but they're divorced from the DRLs. We then have lots of shiny black plastic down here at the bottom. That is my only concern as far as the exterior design. Let me know what you think of that refresh. The majority of the Rogue has not changed for 2024, however, so the rest of the style is basically the same. There are some different trims over the years that this particular generation has been around, but this exterior profile is pretty similar. And in this model, again, lots of shiny black plastic all the way around the vehicle, including the wheel arches right back there. Now, as we move to the rear, you'll notice that we get the same sort of chevron theme going on in these rear tail lights. Pretty similar rear end design, honestly, to the pre-refresh model. Button to open the hatch is right back there, and this particular model is the Platinum trim. So this one has the new Google Infotainment system. That's probably the biggest news for this generation of the Rogue. We still have a lot of cargo capacity back here. This is one of the largest cargo areas in the compact crossover segment. Certainly a reason that you might want to take a look at this over something like the RAV4 and CR-V. We have the divide and hide storage system down here with these separate little floor levels that you can remove, but you no longer can insert them in various different heights inside the cargo area. They're really just down there on the floor. You can move them about 1 inch or 2 up. Under the hood, we find the same 1.5-liter variable compression turbocharged engine that we found before. This is related to the VC turbo that we find in some Infiniti models, only with one cylinder hacked off. This is honestly a fantastic 3-cylinder engine. I'm not the biggest fan of the continuously variable automatic transmission it's mated with, but this 1.5-liter turbo has a lot of power and a lot of torque. It's just about 200 horsepower as far as its power output, and it sounds pretty decent. Kind of an interesting twist is that 3-cylinder engines actually have engine harmonics that are a bit more similar to the average V6. So oddly enough, every now and then you may get someone riding in the vehicle that asks if you have a V6 under there. I actually know several people that thought that the last time we had a Rogue in for a review. But let's take a look at the interior, because this is where some bigger changes happen. The biggest change, of course, is with this new touchscreen infotainment system in the dashboard. Let's see if we can take a deeper dive into this. Nissan promises that not only does this have the Google connected services, but they also promise that this is faster, snappier, more responsive, however you want to phrase it, than before. It's also going to offer wireless Android Auto and wireless CarPlay interaction here. We have the built-in Google Assistant, so you can do all sorts of Google Assistant functions there. We have an updated home screen with features like YouTube Music, Amazon Alexa, the Play Store, Google Assistant there, etc. Now, one thing that doesn't get updated is the 12.3-inch LCD instrument cluster. This is still optional. You won't find it in all the trims, but I don't think that the lack of update is a problem, because this has always been one of my favorites in this segment. You get basically 2 different meter views there, and it's pretty snappy as far as its responsiveness. The rest of the dashboard, it remains basically the same. We still get the imitation wood trim running right there across the dashboard, and you can still get the Rogue with this very attractive brown and charcoal interior and the stitched leather design that we find right there in the middle of the seats. Basically, the doors haven't really changed, and if we move down here to the center console, we find a joystick-style shifter, electric parking brake, auto brake hold, the drive mode selector, and then a pretty decently sized storage cubby right there in the middle. These have long been one of my favorite seats in this segment. Nissan has been known for pretty comfortable seats, and that certainly seems to continue for the refreshed Rogue. I've asked Travis to hop in the back so we can see how the roominess is. Looks like you got a lot of headroom up there.
Yeah, a couple inches, which is surprising.
That's pretty decent, couple inches of headroom there. And then down here we have the controls for the 3-zone automatic climate control system. Also a touch we don't find in all the competition. That's kind of a nice thing. Heated rear seats. And as you can see, definitely lots and lots of legroom in here. I am surprised, however, that the Rogue has not adopted, at least in North America, the optional 3rd-row seat that we find in other markets, or of course in the related Mitsubishi Outlander. If you're looking to get your hands on the new Nissan Rogue, this is going to be available in early 2024, and around that time I should be able to be driving one. Nissan hasn't exactly turned over a new leaf with the Rogue, but they have made some solid refinements to an already pretty solid entry in this compact crossover segment. If you're looking for more room in the back seat, more room in the cargo area than you'll find in a RAV4 or a CR-V, then you definitely want to take a look at the Rogue. I also think that this interior feels more premium and more comfortable than the one that we find in the new CR-V, even though the CR-V is newer. The only complaint that some folks have had is around the drivetrain in the Rogue, and that hasn't really changed. We still have that 1.5-liter variable compression engine and the CVT under there. But most of the competition also has a CVT under their hood, so it's not the biggest difference. As far as responsiveness of the CVT goes, I think Honda's is better than this, but the Nissan Rogue does offer us pretty decent fuel economy. And speaking of fuel economy, the one thing we won't find for 2024, at least not yet, is any sort of hybrid system under the hood of the Rogue. Let me know what you think about that. Hit the subscribe button so you can be updated on all of our latest videos, including a full review on this model, just as soon as we can get one at home. See all of you later.